So the issue with the Broncos today is, well, they've done this all season. They beat themselves. Well, they won this game. Sorry, I'm kind of pissed off with this game just because I didn't think it was that good. Bear with me, man. But Troy Franklin's right here. Bo Nix is right here. And watch how he just creates an angle and he throws his receiver open. So pressure's in his face. He sidearm kind of flicks this. Franklin now, Bo Nix realizes he's coming back around. You can see Franklin, he's anticipating the ball and he's going to catch it, which he does. And all he has to do is just get the first down, secure the ball, get up, go down, and then he just loses it. And just like that, the Jets have good field position. They would only get 3 points, thankfully, for the Broncos, but still, just a sloppy start. The Broncos would come back down and kick a field goal as well. Good job there. But a big return gets them inside of Bronco territory, inside of that 30-yard line. Once again, Denver's defense holds the stand and only gives up 3 points. They were awesome today. And this is an example of why you need to put the ball into Bo Nix's hands if you're Sean Payton. He just hasn't done this season for some reason. He hasn't really believed in him. And Nix just gets out of the pocket again, throws an absolute dot to Sutton. Put the ball into Bo Nix's hands. Like, what are we doing, Sean? Beautiful throw here. Evan Ingram had a good game, probably his best as a Bronco, in my opinion. So this was a very good play call by Sean Payton. He didn't really call many good plays in this one, but this is one of them. Is watch, you have Mims in motion, and all they're going to do is fake this pass to the flat, and then you've got the tight end who's going to come up and pretend he's blocking, and then he's just going to get around, just double move, and watch the fake by Bo Nix. See fake, up the field, touchdown. Beautiful play call. Very similar to what the Broncos did in the fourth quarter against the Eagles where they dominated, but where the hell was that in this game? I mean, the first quarter, there was some momentum. There's just been too many times this season, guys, where the defense has had to bail out the offense, and I feel like kind of a Debbie Downer complaining about a win, but I have high expectations for the Broncos this season. I'm sure you guys listening do as well, and we've just got to talk about it. So you look at Denver's defense, and they only gave up 92 rushing yards. Anything under 100, you'll kind of live with. Justin Fields had 45 passing yards. We knew that the Jets, if they kept the game close, it would be not necessarily like tricky, but it would be more difficult to stop them because they have the threat to run the ball. And this game was 10-6 after the first quarter. So the Broncos have been one of the worst teams in football after the first quarter. So you'll take 10 points, but the 6 points given up were because of penalties and giving the Jets good field position. Literally, the Broncos just shot themselves in the foot in this game. I thought they'd lose, but thankfully they got down the field miraculously and kicked that field goal. The pass rush was absolutely insane. I mean, they had 9 sacks in this game. 9 sacks, guys. And it was a 2 point game. I mean, what is going on here? Special teams has honestly been an issue this season. They were able to escape it in this one, thankfully. But that's cost the Broncos this season for sure multiple times. Troy Franklin lost a fumble. There was a penalty off of a Franklin catch that would have been a big gain, but that was called back. I mean, literally, one of the Broncos' offensive linemen that had to step in, their left guard, committed 3 penalties. Like, the Broncos should have been up multiple, 2+ scores in this game, and they end up winning by 2. The play calling was awful. Sean Payton just runs the ball, and then throws it. You're in a 3rd and long because the first 2 runs didn't do anything. That end around to Mims, no one was on the same page. Payton, he hasn't looked great this season. I mean, that fourth quarter was magical last week, but I thought for sure that this game would be sort of a game that followed that one where the Broncos just blow the brakes off the Jets and we start to feel really good about this team. That was the biggest win of the Sean Payton era, but unfortunately, even though the Broncos talked all week about, hey, look, we're going to come to play, we're not going to take the Jets lightly, they simply just didn't. This team wasn't prepared. And, I mean, they got the win, but, man, I don't feel very good about this game. If you want the Broncos to win the Super Bowl, which I'd imagine everyone listening that's a Broncos fan does, like, you can't be too positive about this game. And there was just way too many issues. Looking at the community, and they kind of felt the same. Yeah, the defense couldn't have played any better. Like, it literally couldn't have. And if the defense wasn't perfect in this game, the Broncos would not have won this one. So give them credit. I mean, is there going to be a time this season, the rest of the way, where a team only gives up 45 passing yards? Like, there's no way. When was the last time a team gave up 45 passing yards in a game? All right, well, it loads. We'll just continue to talk about the rest of the game. Yeah, the defense was awesome. It kept everyone neutralized. Garrett Wilson ended up having 3 catches for 13 yards. Pat Surtain did an awesome job. Like, they couldn't have done any more, but it's just the offense. It's truly held back the team this season. There's been a lot of mistakes, but the common denominator this season has been the offense just hasn't shown up. And it's really been one of the worst offenses in all of football this season. And I think it's just because Peyton has held back Knicks, and they need to get a lot more aggressive. I literally said in my preview that I want to see the Broncos push the ball down the field in the first quarter to open it up, and it looked promising. But penalties just they took points off the board. It gave the Jets good field position, and they've got to be better. There's no other way around it. Denver Broncos picked up a 13-11 victory over the New York Jets, but this was far from a good win. I get a win's a win, but I don't think any Bronco fan listening right now is very pleased with this win. I mean, you'll take it. You had to get it. Broncos are in first place. But this was very similar to the first 3 quarters in the Eagles game. Sean Payton's play calling was certainly questionable. If you run the ball twice and throw it, it's just predictable. It wasn't working. You've got to let Bo Nix do his thing and put him into a situation to succeed. Let the offense run through him. Payton was pretty bad, man. He was pretty bad in the first 3 quarters of last week. Penalties certainly cost Denver as well. You look at the Jets, and they had 11 points. Now, all of it was essentially due to the offense of the Broncos, giving them good field position, taking a safety. It was pretty ugly. I mean, this was one of the worst Bronco games in a while, and it was in a win. But hey, 4-2, first place, a couple of wins in a row. You love to see that. I have a lot of high expectations for Denver this season. They should be 6-0. They should be the best team in the AFC, but they've made timely mistakes, and they got almost lucky against the Eagles because, of course, they had 2 touchdowns. The defense was lights out, and they went for 2. But you can't just show up in the fourth quarter. They showed up in only the first quarter today. They put up 10 points, but then they didn't score until like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And the reason for that is Bo Nix, I mean, literally, guys, he didn't have a passing yard for multiple quarters. Like, it was that bad. Like, we're talking about, in the third quarter was just absolutely non-existent, nothing. And then the fourth, they got enough. Of course, that pass to Mims, they get them down into field goal territory. It's just way too conservative, if I'm being honest. I think Bo Nix just needs to be able to do his thing and push the ball down the field, and Peyton has not allowed him to do that. The run game was non-existent. J.K. Dobbins, 14 for 40. Bo Nix had 24 rushing yards. There's just been too many instances this season where Nix is the best rusher on the team. That's got to change. Last season, it was very similar. Evan Ingram did have a 7-yard run. Now, Ingram had a big catch as well on that drive, of course, which got them down the field. He had 42 yards, led the team in receiving. But I just look at Denver overall, and Marvin Mims, 2 for 30. Troy Franklin, 3 for 19. He did have a catch, but it was a big catch, but it was wiped away due to a penalty. This just shouldn't happen. Like, this shouldn't be the case. The Broncos have to throw the ball down the field more. They can't just run it every single time on first and second down and then throw it. Of course, you know the pass rush is coming, and you're in a 3rd and long because the 2 runs didn't do anything. It just sets the team back. Now, the Jets' defense played very well. I'll give them that. But this is a defense coming into the week that was just not very good in pretty much any metric. Says more about the Broncos than it does the Jets. I mean, this team, we talked all week leading into this game saying that the Broncos, they can't just tread lightly and look at the Jets being 0-5. Like, they got to come out and be aggressive and blow the absolute brakes off this team. And they just didn't do that. The first quarter was cool. But again, like, the 6 points was because of giving the Jets good field position, thanks to the offense and penalties and things like that. There's a lot of work to do. 4-2. I mean, I think like any Bronco fan would have taken that. But there's just been too many opportunities left on the table, like the leverage call. Of course, the Chargers game. Bo Nix did miss a couple of throws. But penalties have been a problem this season. Certainly, the last week. The offense was great in that fourth quarter, and I wish Sean could have just replicated that and had a similar game plan, but he didn't. Now, the good news for the Broncos is that the rest of the division is struggling right now. The Chargers have lost 2 in a row. I really wouldn't be that shocked if they lost to the Dolphins. I know that sounds crazy, but the Chargers are a disaster right now. The Chiefs are 2-3. The Chiefs have a losing record. They probably are going to 2-4 after they lose to the Lions. Again, it's been crazy. The Raiders are 1-4. They stink. They're one of the worst teams as always in football. So the Broncos, even though they've kind of cost a couple of the games just to being dumb, it's not the end of the world given the rest of the division. But this team has more on their mind than just the division. Like, I can't make that clear. Like, a lot of people had Denver, including myself, winning this division. It's not that surprising they're in first. It's just the fact that it wasn't just about them winning the division. It was about the bigger picture, which was winning the AFC, going to a Super Bowl, competing. Yeah, I mean, the Broncos, of course, in a couple of the seasons, they're going to be much better. I don't think anyone expects them to actually like win it all. I mean, of course, they've got a chance with this defense and how good it is. The offense could just be like average at this point. I mean, man, that would certainly help. I do think the Broncos are a couple years away, maybe like next season. And this season's all about just, again, division. Let's win a playoff game, couple playoff games, make a run. But just given the fact of where the rest of the AFC is, I mean, it's just wide open. Like, the Ravens are out of the picture. They're not, more than likely, not making the playoffs. The Bills, the Colts, like, there's some good teams. Obviously the Chiefs aren't going anywhere. I think they'll still make like the wild card. But you have to realize that Denver, I mean, given all of that, like, they've got to bring it. They've got to be that team that stands out this season. But due to beating themselves, they haven't. Sean Payton, the play calling, special teams, making mistakes, of course. And then you look at like the offense like a whole, like literally the starting left guards today had multiple penalties that cost and took points off of the board in big time plays. Like, that just can't happen. Now, Bo Nix himself has missed some big time throws. He's got to make those. There was also a missed penalty on Cortland Sutton down on the goal line that was missed by the officials, which would have set the Broncos up at the 1 or 2 yard line, which would have certainly helped. They could have punched that in, but thankfully it didn't matter. But give credit to Talanoa Hufanga for making a play on Wilson. Of course, it was awesome. And then, of course, the sack. Jonathan Cooper was awesome, man, as always. Nick Benito got in and wreaked havoc. This front just continues to be the best in football for now, the second consecutive season, but also the coverage was sticky. It was just collectively a very good performance by this unit, and I'm impressed. But we've said that the entire season. Like, the only game that the Broncos defense didn't impress me was the Colts one. I mean, over 500 yards of offense. But good offense will always beat good defense. People disagree. I don't know how. Like, defense wins championships, but the Colts, just give them credit. Like, they just outperformed the Broncos. But the reason they did that was because the Broncos couldn't rush forward. If Denver can rush forward, man, they're going to be unstoppable. But if the offensive line's actually holding up and the opposing quarterback has time, of course he's going to win. And that's what happened in the game. And the Broncos had the blitz, but Daniel Jones read it quickly, got it to his weapons. And even though the coverage was tight and sticky, Colts offensive skill position players just made plays on it. Tyler Warren, Pittman, Downs, right? These guys just stepped up, man. But outside of that, like, Denver, absolutely, their defense has just balled out. The Chargers game, like, the Broncos defense, it really couldn't have played much better. It had, what, guys, 15 hits on Herbert and 5 sacks? Like, you've got to be able to win that game. But they didn't, because the offense just didn't get it done. This offense needs to be better. I mean, we're still winning for that game offensively. The Bengals doesn't count. The Bengals absolutely stink. But they need to do it against a good team. Like, the fourth quarter was a start, but they should have built off of it in this one. But they didn't. But I don't know. I'm done talking about this game, guys. 4-2, awesome. I got some Bronco merch coming in.